Okay, here, yep. Okay, so every important character off the top of my head, other than my own, because, well, let's be honest. Um, so Joseph Hill probably came to my mind first because I'm big gay lovers with Matthew W7, but I think it's a nice unconventional gates user because the reason he go with the gates, he he did more. Yeah. Okay. Um, I'll be honest. Parasali came to my head first, and I don't want to talk about Blue Akira, but you know what, Blue Akira? This one's for you. So, Parasali, I already talked about him on my DVR forum post, but I think it's worth digesting his character a bit more now that he's gone. And the overall impact that it left on the wipe was very meager, but I think that the meagerness of his impact was not on fault of Blue Akira for not trying, because I don't think many people possess the force of will and not caring about their character to the point that they're willing to throw themselves against like literally the entire wipe just for the sake of making a bit of conflict. And that kind of villainism is really fucking stupid, but is also really kind of raw. So I appreciate that either the depth of thinking that Blue Akira is going into, or the lack of thinking that he's going into, which is also admirable. Because a lot of people overthink shit, and they're like, oh, but if I do this, I'll die, and then I won't get my TRS that I want, and then, But Blue Akira just kind of threw his dick out and let people shake it. His death was kind of sad, really. But I think it might have garnered a bit more attention if it was done at any time other than 2 a.m. But you know what? We can't always get what we want. And I hope the admins see that he was at least trying to make conflict as a character, like a player character, which is something really rare this wipe. At least now that we're all a part of the same fucking squad. So I hope they give him a good death reward. Next on the chopping block, Edgardo. I'll be honest in that it's nothing groundbreaking to see Jumpy play a character like Edgardo. I think we all kind of expected him to play a character like Edgardo. But he's gotten a bit more depth than your average Jumpy character, and it's not to say Jumpy characters don't have depth, it's just that for a while there he was shaping up to be something of his own class. Where, at least during the Psyche Level of Tenkoken, we saw a side of Edgardo that wasn't there before, which is his weaknesses. Jumpy always likes to play characters that guard themselves very closely with just a verbal wall of bullshit that you just cannot pass. Like, no fucking, fuck you, you don't get my feelings. Which is very reminiscent of mid-90s shonen characters like Yusuke and Jotaro. So, the fact that we actually get to see a bit of his emotional weaknesses, which is something that in anime, just gonna pronounce everything fucking autistically, in anime we would only see in their thoughts or in solo scenes. The public display was a lot more impactful and showed a bit of depth, but I don't think we have seen a lot of that ever since that moment, so his character has kind of fallen flat while his power is just growing exponentially. So that's kind of something I want to see a bit more of. Holy shit. Next on the chopping block. Fuck. Honestly, the next person that came to mind was Bani. I think that Bani could be a lot more of a compelling character if they took a bit more activism in what they wanted to do and what their character wanted. Because right now it seems that they're playing a very passive character that just kind of sits by and lets other people deal with their stuff, or attaches to characters that are doing stuff and then kind of tags along with them. But I'd like to see some kind of in-character revelation or an out-of-character revelation. You know, it might just be a problem on this part of the player where they don't realize that they're doing something. where they kind of realize, oh shit, I've just been following people up until now. Even though my name was Queen, I've never been a leader. A real leader, at least, from what I've seen. Maybe things in Full House were different, but I never interacted with that group on a personal level. And start doing stuff on their own. And that'd be great. That'd lead them into power, probably. But, yeah, I don't know about that. Other than that, I honestly think that they have an interesting character, but I wish I saw more of it. I wish I saw more of what they had planned out, or what they thought, you know, whenever they were typing. But, once again, they're just a bit too passive for me to really do that without seeking them out myself, and, I've kind of already solidified my own groups, which is good and bad, but... Alright. I'm sorry, that one was pretty short, but... Alexandra came to mind next. While I feel that the whole event with Alexandra was just, this isn't even my final form. I think that there's a character there, and I want to find out what it is. The whole laissez-faire way that they did everything kind of both turned me on and turned me off to the event. Because, personally speaking, I've always wanted a DBR villain that was just fucking evil and then, like, laughed at you evilly, so whenever they got punched in the face, it felt really good. But I think having, a really, you know, an oddball personality really shined with Jesse piloting that, because it means that Jesse can just put their wit that they have out of character into their IC self and kind of create this, this fucking monster. So, that's good and bad, but, as far as what I would like to see out of him or how any improvements, I can't say shit to Jesse, honestly. They've been doing the villain stuff for way longer than I've even been alive. Or at least it feels like it, so what the fuck can I say, really? But, if I will to step up to the plate of the god, I don't know, I just hope that their character gets a bit more grounded, more time to be grounded, rather than, making the character themselves more grounded, just more time that we can see the, what looked to be like something inspired by Dwarf in the Flask from Fullmetal Alchemist, just like wanting to have people in hell with her or something like that. That I'm not really sure on the plot details, but okay. We're gonna get through everybody, hopefully. So, who the fuck would be next? Shit. I don't fucking talk to enough people, dude. I'll do a part 2 to this once I ask people in my chat who I should do a video on. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna edit these two together because I've basically I've written an entire list thanks to the combined efforts of Nick and a few others to basically get an idea of everyone who's been prevalent this wipe or is logged in enough for me to give a shit. Okay, so starting out the list, Kyra. It feels, Kyra reminds me a lot of, fuck, I forget your name. It was Nick's character on the Greg White, the kid who got one of the pieces of the puzzle or whatever. No, not the puzzle piece, but it was like the eye. And I think it's an alright character to be reminded of. It's definitely one of the characters that had a lot more depth. And once again, that's not to say that Nick characters don't usually have depth. It's just saying that character in particular had depth. But I also think that one of the main problems that Kyra has had this wipe is prevalency. And that while they do have Kamui, and they are very, very strong, and will probably kick my ass if I talk to them the wrong way, I also feel that he has not been active enough in making his character be active, and I think that a lot of that is because he's wrapped up in OC things, but the problem is still a problem, you know. But I think that if Nick were to stop sleeping so fucking much and log in more, that he definitely has potential to become a part of the really big powerhouses this wipe of character prevalence and getting people to follow them. Anyway, crossing that off our list, literally. Gold pencil. Crossing that off the list. Ein. So, honestly, I'm not too big of a fan of how fucking strong Ein is relative to his prevalence. But what the fuck a movie is playing? Okay, whatever. During the early parts of the wipe, it felt like Ein and Jumpy's relationship probably was a lot more important than I could ever give it credit for, because I was never really a part of the same inner conflict, and I didn't care for it at the time. But I feel that if I was, then I would have been pretty captivated by it from the stories I've heard about it. So I will not speak on him early wipe, but from what I've seen from him, he's become more or less a character that just shows up, beats somebody's ass, and then goes back into the Shadow Realm for a bit, which is fine. Because with a character that strong, putting him in public situations for very extended periods of time usually will lead to him getting ganged up on or something like that. So I understand what they're going for there, but I also feel that the relationship with him and Jumpy was just kind of like out of nowhere, honestly. So that was weird, but you know, shonen friendships like that happen all the time. So I feel like I'm just shit talking him here. I want to apologize, but other than that, Ein overall feels very much like a character that is not prepared for the situations he's been thrown into and is trying to compensate. And I like that. I like that the way that he just kind of handles everything instinct first and just straight fucking kills somebody without even thinking about it shows either that he is already a remorseless killer, or the approach that I hope is happening, he just doesn't know what he's doing ICly and is trying to become a big bad general like Daddy was. The only way he knows how is through like brutality and shit like that. That's pretty cool. Alright. Gyoza. We're doing dead characters. Gyoza was the subject of a lot of criticism, a lot of hate. A lot of people didn't like him. A lot of people wanted him gone. A lot of people went to the extent of making jokes ICly about Gyoza in his speeches. But I'm going to focus on the redeeming qualities of Gyoza, because I feel that we've all been through the fuck KLMZ whenever we all got together just to cuck him. Gyoza could have been a good character, and it is truly a loss that he did not become the spiral hero that we needed. I think KLMZ, let's focus on what he could have learned, actually. What he could have learned from Gyoza is that he needs subtlety more than anything. Subtlety. Because a lot of his lines, a lot of Gyoza's lines lacked impact because they were very predictable. You kind of lacked the quick wit that a lot of players have. And I don't know how to tell somebody how to get that or how to help them along the path of getting that, other than to take inspiration from things and then make sure to modify it in a way that fits your character. Saying, the reason you lost is because you pissed me off, isn't nearly as good as saying the reason you lost is, and then filling that in with something equally simple but fitting for your character more so than Jotaro. So, if we say, for example, if Gyoza were to beat up Allison, theoretical, and he said, the reason you lost is because you disrespected my power of hope and friendship. Wait, no, that's fucking actually kind of gay. Holy shit. Or if he said, let's go with something else. If he beat up Allison and said, something like, I knew my light would overshadow your darkness, or fucking burned out. Look, dude, just learn some fucking... Okay, next character. I'm not getting it on the spot shit, fuck you. Jason. The best reveal of a villain I've seen all wipe, only to be followed up with stuff that Gyoza could have said. However, just as soon as I said this, you kind of redeemed yourself. And that right as I say that, in meme call, Gyoza, he pulls out an unexpected little thing. I barely noticed it at the time. But he said, he put in one of his RPs where Joseph Hill was shit-talking him. He didn't look angry, he looked distressed. I think that's the subtlety that I told you. I'm not saying that I'm the fucking reason, because what the hell, you watch this video in the future and then came back and used my fucking advice? No. I'm saying that this is a bit of you learning. And it's you learning from the mistake of not having subtlety. Because putting that you look distressed instead of angry shows that you aren't upset at other people who don't get what your character is thinking. You're confused. You don't know why they don't think the way that you do. You feel scared that what if they're right and you're wrong. That's good. That's good, Caleb. Other than that, Jason is a fucking weird, creepy, rapist, pedophile priest, and I don't like him. Okay, Joy. I talked about this a lot in Chikashi Records, which I hope is never released to the public, except it's already unlisted. Or it's already listed on my YouTube channel, so you can watch that whenever. But, that was more of a drunken rambling where I was trying to be funny, and this is actual serious advice. So, what does Joy need to become a good character? Matthew is providing it. What Joy needs to become a good character is the ability to, like I said for Queen, or Bani, they need the ability to think for themselves and do their own actions. And I get the feeling that right now you're trying to play a Simone. That's alright. But the Kamina that you're getting is basically Kamina's drunken uncle, stepdad, that fucking beats him. In that there's a lot of reason in Joseph's training, and then there's also a lot of fucking tomfoolery bullshit in Joseph's training. And it's going to be up to you in character to decide how much of that you actually want to listen to. You fucking kill me. He's about to kill this bitch. Oh my god. Okay, he's holding... Okay, anyway. So... And if you decide to become Matthew Light, or you're just a greaser, but girl with titty, then I think that would be a really disappointing character. But if you become like Naruto and Jiraiya, where you both respect the indignant aspects of Joseph Hill and respect the serious aspects of Joseph Hill, and learn from both of them, then I think if you do that the right way, your character will become amazing. And I know I've talked a lot of shit about you in the past, Chikashi. 1-to-1 real quick. But I genuinely want everyone to be a good DBR player. Even you. Even you. But, yeah. Anyway. Crossing that off the list. We got page 1 down. We're already 11 minutes into this shit. I'll make sure to put timestamps. Ruko. Zane's Supreme Special Reno. Take a drink of this water. This fine water. Okay. Zane's Supreme Special Reno. I feel that it was kind of just... I feel that it was kind of to put Ruko and Kombu into the same category on Matthew's fucking thing, but I think for people not a part of the Sane Army early wipe, a lot of the original aspects of their characters are missed out in exchange for just seeing them now as the Humans and Sanes team together. Ruko started out in very interesting fashion, where he was one of the Saiyans that didn't particularly wasn't as particularly brutal as their other their comrades. But as Zane has progressed through the wipe, he's become more and more outspoken and more, trying to get himself into fights and trying to, punch question marks. For example, the fucking 8-arm, just for the sake of the fact that he was disrespected. So he's really playing up the fact that as he gains more and more power, he's going to become more and more cocky. And I want to see if that eventually concludes in a downfall where he learns to appreciate the whole kindness of life, or if that's going to be his downfall in the way that it's the death of him. And I think it'd be very interesting to see your character, like the way you threw yourself at question marks. I want to know if Zane is going to commit himself to the point that he'll kill himself off of doing some dumb shit like that. If he doesn't, then that's still good. It's just like the point where he makes it or breaks it, and both of them are very good character development options. For Kombu, because I'm pretty sure he's next on the list. Kombu has been a bit more sedimentary, but also a bit more of an interesting character from the get-go. And the whole legendary saying, Wheezy F Broly A. I'll never sing again. But in the fact that with the way that he counteracts his savagery in his Super Saiyan forms, with just being kind of an all-around alright guy in his normal forms. I've noticed that your character has a lot of wit, and he makes a lot of dry remarks and stuff like that, which is something I can never really avoid doing on my characters, because I'm always just so fucking quick thinking. I'm always thinking of ways to shit talk people. So I'm glad that you're at first saying you're displaying, that he has a level of intellect and he has a level of like thinking about situations in non-conventional ways. And then you counteract that pretty well with the whole savage aspect of being a person with unconstricted power once they start tapping into it. So that's very nice, very nice. While I don't think that he has developed as much as other characters, I also think that there hasn't been enough to push him over the edge as other characters to really force that kind of development or push him towards it. So I think that we're just a few fights away from seeing something really beautiful happen. Alright. Kyra. I think that Kyra has a lot of the same problems as Gyoza did, and in that they lack a bit of subtlety. Whenever, or rather, they're a bit hard-headed in what they want their character to be, I feel. Or at the very least, they're... I don't know how to describe it, really. I'm playing with the fucking doorstop. So, I'm going to take this from my own experience. Whenever whenever Kyra told me to kill them, it felt really forced. Because I provided all the alternatives, you know? I was like, no, I won't kill you because you have friends, and there's nothing more painful than losing a friend. And they're like, oh, fuck you! So it's like, I don't know, do you just not want to be reasoned with? You could say that in character, and it'd be more indicative of the type of character you have, other than just like, no, I don't kill me. Because if you say that, no, I don't want to be reasoned with by someone like you, it shows that you're like, you don't want to be proven wrong in character. You know, you don't want people to propose alternatives to the way that you think because you think that those alternatives are fucking dumb. And that's alright, that's a good character trait to have. But that's, oh well. So, scratch my fucking thing here. So, I don't know, what I hope happens whenever you come back from being with Xirxe for a while is that you get a bit of that depth and that nuance that I really love to see. Other than that, you've actually been alright, you know. Other than that main problem, I think you've been alright. You served as a player antagonist who didn't think that they were a player antagonist. In character, at least. I don't know about out of character. If you really saw that your actions were justified out of character, then I don't fucking know how to help you, dude. Joseph Hill was right. Kill the Vampires 2K17. I swear now. So, skipping over things that don't count as characters. Andras. One of the more enjoyable Dante characters to be around. And I know me and Dante, you know, we like to go at it. But I genuinely think that, I don't know, fucking something or another has clicked in Dante's brain. Where he said, I want to play a character that could be fucking nice. Or like, isn't a dickhead 24/7. Where it's like, it feels like his character Andras has a lot more weaknesses than you usually see out of Dante. And has a lot more nuance in their wit that you'd see out of most Dante characters. Because most Dante characters will just call you a dickhead in character. And that's fine. But it kind of got old after a while. Because, you know, again and again. But, I don't know, maybe something is just, maybe he's changed from the time I last saw him, and maybe this is just, like, the fucking norm for him now. But I'm honestly really happy to see both that someone's stepping outside of their comfort zone, and that someone is playing a character that is, you know, more openly showing their weaknesses. And, how they write their actions. So, as far as prevalence in character, I'd say that they're in like the mid-range as far as how important characters are being displayed. But they definitely do have potential as they gain more control of their Xirxe, or their Xirxe forms, to become more prevalent. Ava. I don't fucking know you, bitch. I don't fucking know you, bitch. No, I seriously just don't fucking know you. I don't know what to say here, honestly. I don't know why I even put you on my fucking list. Fuck you. Argyris. The classic Z-Man. The approach where he makes a very robust character that just kind of does Z-Man things. You know? You see a Z-Man character, he's just gonna do Z-Man things. He don't care. Be your ass. He gets really fucking strong. We don't know why. All of his apps keep getting approved. He steamroll anybody this wipe. He looked at me. He could look at me sideways and fucking pound my ass into the ground. Have I seen him do important shit? Hell no. Is this a Z-Man character? Hell yeah, that explains it. I don't know, man. I think he's kind of cool. Maybe I'm just the only nigga that thinks Z-Man characters are cool. I don't know. Ain't much to say on him, though. You already know, he's a Z-Man character. Question marks. Koden. The classic. The classic Koden story, dude. This feels... There's been a lot of omnipresent, omnipotent characters in DBR's history, and I think if I were to put anyone in charge of playing one, it would definitely either be Nick or Koden, because both have had experience in that realm and know how to play it. Very powerful characters. I like that he's been a lot more demanding than a lot of if Koden just made a character that was really powerful and was also a pushover, then I don't think that he'd make it onto the list of even like important people to fucking talk about, because it'd just be like, oh, whatever. He might as well just be pastebin.com, but your application automatically yeses it for you and fills it out. So, but instead it's pastebin.com, and you have to go through like the fucking hunter exam to get your powers, and you also have to have nothing already. He's been really good at not enabling stacking people. He's been giving Jinchuriki and Mystic and all that shit out to people who actually needed it instead of just randos. And he's also been very selective in the words that he uses whenever he explains the shit that's going down in character, and how he frames the situation. I want to know how prevalent he's going to be later into the wipe, though. Or if he's just going to fade out like the Hokage or some shit. Only time will tell on that one, though. Xirxe. Good dog best friend. Xirxe is a very simple character. And he was designed with the outlook that he will never... He will always be a simple character. He's just typical Riggs manifestation of wanting to be alike in IRL and wanting to make dot jokes. But I cannot shit on him for that, because I feel that a simple character for a very brutish and simple race is just as fitting as a very complex one to contrast it. Especially... the fact that Xirxe does not see anything wrong with his actions, and really, and proposes that there is actually nothing wrong with his actions to more logical characters, and kind of plays on the contrast between Xirxe is dog, Xirxe eat, fuck you, with, but Xirxe, you're eating me! I think it's very interesting, or at least very funny. Other than that, there's not much to talk about there. I don't like that he got revived as a dog. I really wanted to just be a fucking random dog. Alright, this is every character in the wipe.